Hello lovies, welcome to my channel. Today we are cooking curried jackfruit. Join me and let me share with you what the ingredients are for today's recipe. So today's chief ingredient will be 1 cup of jackfruit, or a can if you're using canned jackfruit. We will be using 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. We will also be using 6 tablespoons of Indian curry. Now if you don't have Indian curry, then that's okay, you can go ahead and use ordinary curry. We will be using 1 cup of coconut milk. If you have the canned milk, that's fine. If not, then the powdered milk itself is suffice. Or if you want to do everything from scratch, then you can go ahead and make your own coconut milk. We will also be using a 1/4 cup of nuts, and I'm using the mixed nuts. So if you wish, you could just use peanuts. If you do have nuts allergy, then forget about the nut. That part is definitely optional. We'll be using quarter teaspoon of black pepper. We'll be using 1 tablespoon of masala, and this of course is also an Indian ingredient that you can purchase at the Indian store. We'll be using 1 onion. We'll be using 4 cloves of garlic. We'll be using 1/2 tablespoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. We'll be using 1 tablespoon of lime juice as well. We'll be using a stalk of scallion today, 1 green pepper, which we have right here. We'll be using 1/4 teaspoon of dried pepper. We'll be using 1 Irish potato, a tablespoon of tomato puree, and if you don't have the tomato puree, then you can go ahead and use tomato sauce in lieu of that. We'll also need 1 cup of water. So the method is very simple. We're going to chop the onion, the garlic, the ginger, the scallion. We're going to cut the potato into chunks. Then we're going to go ahead and heat the coconut oil in a pan, and we want to keep it at medium heat for about 2 minutes. So here we go. We have our coconut oil, we have our curry, and we've heated it up. We're adding the garlic. We're also gonna add the onion, scallion, there we go. You see our curry at work already. So we're just gonna let this fry for about 5 minutes. We're gonna add our black pepper, and we'll let this simmer for maybe about another 2 minutes or so. Then we'll add our other ingredients. So here we go. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add our cup of coconut milk. And we're gonna leave this for about another 2 minutes. And then we're gonna actually go ahead and add our cubed Irish potato. So we've added our Irish potato, and we're gonna actually let this cook for about another 10 to 15 minutes just to soften the potato. And then we'll go ahead and add our additional. So now we're adding our lime juice. We're gonna go ahead and add our gray tomato or tomato sauce. We're gonna add our sugar. And we're going to stir again. And we let this sit for another 2 minutes and continue to simmer. And then we'll add our main ingredient. Welcome back. So we're adding pimento seed. A little thyme. We didn't want to put it in when we're putting in the lime because the thyme can become a little bit overpowering in terms of flavor sometimes. We're gonna go ahead, add our jackfruit. If you're using the canned jackfruit, which is usually green, then so I was saying that if you're using the canned jackfruit, which is usually green, then you would actually give that about 15 minutes to cook. But because we're in Jamaica and we have access to the right jackfruit, which is what I actually purchased, then we only need to leave that for about 10 minutes or so. Wow. We're gonna go ahead and add some of our water, and we're gonna leave this to cook for 10 minutes as I mentioned earlier. And when we come back, we're gonna add our nuts. We'll also add our pepper. And when we add the nuts, we will only need to leave it in for about another 2 minutes, and then our meal will be completed. See the jackfruit already taking the color. And a ripe jackfruit, it's not very hard for it to take the color of curry because the jackfruit in itself does have that yellowish color. But you really can see the difference here in terms of the coloring. Man, if you could only smell what's going on in the kitchen right now. Let us see what's going on in our pot now. Ooh. There we go. We're going to go ahead and add our nuts. You could have used just pure peanuts. Because I'm a nut lover, I chose to use the mixed variety nuts, which is what I use in my shake. And we just need to simmer for say about another 2 minutes or so. This is really looking enticing. Get the sauce all over the mouth. There we go. Here we go. And there we have it.